We are taught, from the moment we're old enough to understand, that life rewards the people who fight the hardest. We push through. We force outcomes. We grind until our hands bleed. And then we grind some more. When a relationship starts to fall apart, we fight to hold it together. When a career stalls, we apply more pressure. When our own mind turns against us at 2 a.m, we try to wrestle it into silence. We've been told in 1,000 different ways that surrendering to the current is weakness, that yielding is failure, that the only way through is force. But Lao Tzu, one of the greatest minds in human history, looked at this exact way of living and identified it as the single greatest source of human suffering. To understand why his answer was so radical, you have to understand the world he was living in. China, somewhere around the 6th century BC, was not a civilization at peace. It was a civilization at war with itself. Warlords burned cities to ash. Princes had their brothers poisoned at the dinner table. Generals sent tens of thousands of men into battle, not for justice, but for territory, for another mile of land soaked in someone else's blood. Every king, every soldier, every scholar of the era operated on the same core belief: whoever applied the most force would survive. Strength meant rigidity. Power meant aggression. To yield, even for a moment, was to invite destruction. Lao Tzu watched this cycle for decades, and while everyone else was sharpening their swords and building thicker walls, he noticed something that nobody else seemed to catch. The fighters were exhausted, and the fighting never ended. Today, we're going to explore exactly what he discovered. And when you understand what Lao Tzu was actually teaching, you will never look at your resistance or your suffering the same way again. Lao Tzu's philosophy of flow is not abstract poetry written for monks meditating in quiet mountain caves. It is a precise, almost mechanical system built on 3 distinct laws, and every single one of them he discovered by observing the same thing: water. Specifically, a river. The first is what we can call the law of non-resistance. In chapter 78 of the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu writes, "Nothing in the world is as soft and yielding as water. Yet for dissolving the hard and inflexible, nothing can surpass it." This is not a compliment to water. It is a mechanical observation about the true nature of power. Think about what happens when you plunge your fist into a river and try to stop it. The water does not panic. It does not push back. It simply parts around your fist, flows cleanly on either side, and then rejoins itself on the other end. Your fist changes nothing, but your arm is already getting tired. And if you hold it there long enough, you will be the one who surrenders, not the river. Now think about a boulder that crashes into that same river. The river does not fight it. It does not resent it. It simply flows around it. And over thousands of years, it quietly shapes that boulder into a smooth, perfectly rounded stone. This is exactly what we do with the obstacles in our own lives. We plunge our fists into the current and demand that it stop. We resist the job loss, the ended relationship, the plan that collapsed, as if sheer resistance will somehow reverse what has already happened. But reality does not stop moving just because we are angry at it. And while we stand there, our arm buried in the current, exhausted and furious, life continues to flow around us. The obstacle was never what was draining us. Our resistance to it was. But Lao Tzu did not stop there. He showed us what happens to the person who refuses to bend at all. The second is the law of flexibility. In the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu draws one of his sharpest distinctions between the living and the dead. Living things, he observes, are soft and supple. Dead things are hard and rigid. This is not simply a metaphor. It is a biological fact that he transformed into a philosophical law. Picture a violent storm moving through a dense forest. The oak tree, centuries old, thick-trunked, and powerful, stands completely rigid against the wind. It does not yield an inch. It meets the storm with everything it has. When the storm finally passes, its massive branches are torn away. Some oaks are pulled entirely from the ground, their roots exposed to the open sky. Now look at the bamboo growing nearby. Thin, almost fragile looking. As the storm hits, the bamboo bends nearly all the way to the ground. The storm passes, and the bamboo slowly straightens back up, completely unharmed. Not because it was stronger than the oak, but because it was willing to yield. We build our lives the way the oak builds its trunk. Rigid, fixed, and immovable. A fixed idea of what our career should look like. A fixed timeline for when love should arrive. A fixed image of who we are and what we deserve. And when reality bends differently, as it always does, we do not bend with it. We dig our roots deeper into a plan that is no longer working. And like the oak in the storm, it is not the storm that destroys us. It is our own refusal to move. We have seen what resistance costs us. We have seen what rigidity does to us. But Lao Tzu's deepest and most misunderstood teaching goes one step further, into the very nature of action itself. The third, and most powerful, is Wu Wei. Most people translate Wu Wei as non-action, doing nothing. That single mistranslation has buried one of the most important concepts in all of Eastern philosophy under centuries of misunderstanding. Wu Wei does not mean being passive. It does not mean being indifferent. It means doing without forcing. It means moving with the grain of reality instead of exhausting yourself by pushing violently against it. Imagine a swimmer dropped into a powerful river current. His first instinct is to swim directly against it, back toward where he started. Every stroke costs him enormous energy. His muscles burn. He makes almost no forward progress. Eventually, the current wins. Now imagine a second swimmer dropped into that exact same river. Before he takes a single stroke, he pauses. He reads the current. He identifies the direction it is already moving and at what speed. And then he swims with it, not surrendering to it blindly, but steering carefully within it. He covers 3 times the distance with half the effort. The river did most of the work. The swimmer simply stopped fighting what was already moving. That is the essence of Wu Wei. It is the decision to read the current before you exhaust yourself fighting it. It is not laziness. It is not resignation. It is the highest form of intelligence. The ability to know the difference between what genuinely requires your force and what simply requires your alignment. The best decisions you have ever made in your life probably did not feel like force. They felt like recognition, like something that was already true, finally being seen clearly for the first time. That is Wu Wei. That is the philosophy of flow. But we do not live in ancient China. We do not fight with iron swords or build our walls from stone. We fight differently now. We fight by lying awake at 3 in the morning, trying to mentally solve a problem that has no solution yet. We fight by clinging to a career path that stopped working 2 years ago, too afraid to bend. We fight by trying to control a relationship with a tighter and tighter grip until it breaks entirely in our hands. The weapons are different. The exhaustion is identical. So, here is what Lao Tzu's 3 laws actually look like in real life, lived today. When something in your life refuses to move, no matter how hard you push, stop pushing. Step back. Ask yourself what the current is actually doing. The resistance you feel is not a wall. It is a signal. It is the river telling you that this is not the direction. Find the path around the boulder. not through it. When reality does not match the plan you built inside your head, do not tighten your grip on the plan. Bend your path without abandoning your destination. The bamboo does not stop being bamboo when the storm bends it, and you do not stop being yourself when life asks you to adapt. And when your mind is forcing an answer at midnight, stop. Leave it alone. The river does not think its way to the ocean. It simply flows. Your only job in that moment is to stop blocking what already knows where it is going. The river does not fight the stone. The bamboo does not fight the storm. The ocean does not fight the 100 streams that pour into it. It simply receives them, all of them, without resistance. Lao Tzu wrote, "To the mind that is still, the whole universe surrenders." Stop fighting. Start flowing. The current was never your enemy. It was always trying to carry you somewhere. If this opened something for you, if something in here landed, please consider subscribing. We explore these ancient texts every single week, not as history, but as a living guide for the life you are actually living right now. Thank you for being here.